why are you doing this? Why this podcast? How does it factor into your bigger plan?
Well, okay, so right now, if you think about what's going on in the world, right, we have these two camps. One saying, "Hey, fossil fuels all the way. They're, it's the future, right? It's the explosion of energy dominance and things like that." Then you have this other camp saying, "Well, fossil fuels are bad, and we should go do everything wind and solar." But neither one is saying based on what. Is it they're inherently bad or inherently good? Like, what does that mean? Well, what if we have an abundant source of natural gas in the US, right? But until it's empirically measured, what if natural gas could be produced and the energy coming out of it was the same carbon intensity as the entire supply chain of solar? Well, wait a second. I thought oil and gas were just inherently bad. Says who? Says what? Like, let's measure all the energy and let it compete based on that empirical measurement. This will literally end wars. Let me tell you a story right here, right? So one of my guests is coming up, Dr. Richard Kleinberg. He did an entire study and presented to Congress. And it was about this very subject. And it was after the whole Russia invaded Ukraine. They were like, Europe was cutting them off and said, we're not going to buy any of your oil and gas. Okay. But they appealed to their laws about buying the cleanest source of energy. And they said, well, our energy is cleaner than the US. Really? Based on what? Emission factors. We have emission factors. You have emission factors. We declare that our energy is cleaner. You're required to buy it still. Well, it put them in a dilemma. Literally, so they kept funding it, and they're funding wars over this stuff. So this is geopolitical stuff because nothing's measured. Also, we're into the Paris Climate Accord. We're out of it. Do you know what the Paris Climate Accord, the entire basis of it is emission factors. They don't empirically measure anything. So how in the world, why are we spending trillions of dollars, trillions, the world is, trillions of dollars, and they have no idea if it's getting better or worse? Not whatsoever. It's not empirically measured. So what's the point? And yet, trillions of dollars of your taxpayer money are going to fund these things that aren't measured at all. This is, to me, one of the biggest scams in history, and it needs to be fixed with empirical measurement.
So, as the saying goes, what you cannot measure, you cannot improve, right? So how does something like this get created as a concept in the first place and the laws are made? I mean, how does that ever happen?
Because someone, they just figured, hey, we need to do this. And, we're declaring this stuff to be, negative or positive. Is subjective. It's completely subjective. So they make rules and stuff. And I'm saying, fine, let's just let energy compete on its empirical measurement. That's it. And what we found with the producers who actually do empirical measurement is it gamifies the whole system. So in my opinion, this replaces thousands and thousands of pages of regulation. You don't need them. You really don't. Because once a producer can empirically measure in real time what's going on, they're actually challenged to go, wait a second, I just produced this at 0.09 method intensity. And they see the data and like, wait, if I tweak this thing here, tweak this thing here, I can get it down to 0.06 or 0.03. It's automatic. It's self-reinforcing. When you're using emission factors, you're completely guessing. You're 100%. You have no idea how to improve it because you don't have the actual data.